Okay, it's been ages since I came live and I spoke about health and all things that relate to health. And Diwali is over, everyone's back from their travel, everyone's done eating junk. And uh, there's something that I really wanted to share. So, what happened with me? I usually am very careful with what I eat because I know the impact every bite you eat can have on your body. And um, this year, though, with my birthday and with Diwali both coming in together, I took it a little easy. I was like, let's see what happens if I don't really stick to eating healthy all the time. And I indulged in food that I wouldn't normally eat, and I did it without guilt. I did it with a lot of joy. I did it with a lot of happiness because sometimes gluten, dairy, and sugar together can be really delicious. Um, but what happened to me is now what's happening to a lot of people, and I thought it's important enough that I came and spoke about it. So, day before yesterday, that's on Saturday, I started feeling the beginning. Actually, not even Saturday. On Friday, I started beginning. I started feeling the beginning of a slight cold, slight itch in my throat. It started off with a really bad headache. By Saturday, um, the itch in my throat was really bad. I was sneezing and I had a leaky nose. I was feeling slightly feverish. Um, Now, these symptoms are symptoms of you know who, right? Like the one virus that's brought the world to a full stop for 8 months. And now that everything's opening up again, all the governments are saying, cases are spiking with like really their faulty tests, and they're making it all about COVID again. And all that I really want to say is I experienced this on Saturday. I did what I do usually when I feel the beginning of a flu, which I've done for the last 3 years, COVID or no COVID. I increased my zinc intake. I took vitamin C, I took magnesia, I take really good quality supplements, and I increased my vitamin D intake. And the thing is, I just had gone off eating healthy for maybe a total of 10 days, but I was back to eating what I know keeps my metabolic health in good shape. So literally on Friday evening was the beginning of a really intense flu. By Saturday afternoon, by Saturday early morning, I felt very sick when I woke up. I didn't even want to see another human being. By Saturday afternoon, I felt the beginning of a fever. By Saturday evening, all of the symptoms were out. I am not joking. I healed from flus in one day. This has happened in the past in the last 3 years. This happened this time too. And the only reason why that happened was because I know I do not have internal inflammation. Like every time I check my blood work, my inflammatory markers are super low. They are all within standard ranges. My vitamin D is at a good place. I do not have insulin resistance. So all of these things, right? These are the things that really create the fire of inflammation, and that can trigger things like a simple virus coming in, impacting your body and making it really bad for you. I recovered from a flu in one day, and I just wanted to share that people wonder what is it that we do at Thrive? Why do we focus so much on blood tests? Why are we talking of internal health? Why are we talking of metabolic health so much? Why are we obsessed with insulin resistance? It's this simple thing. I was okay internally, which is why an external virus, which I know where it came from. Somebody I know was sick on Thursday. I met them. It was a simple respiratory virus that passed on to me, which is what respiratory viruses do. They pass through the air. Um, this person was wearing a mask. This person did social distancing. This person did everything. And still they passed on the virus to me. Incidentally, this was the first time I felt the beginning of a flu in the last 8 months, and it went off in one day. That is the most important point. I am not dead. I'm not hospitalized. I'm absolutely healthy and vital. I'm not groggy. I had a really amazing Sunday after a sick Saturday. Here I am. I'm absolutely fine and healthy and talking to you about it. So what is happening right now is there is a virus in the air. I've had 2 team members who've been affected by it. Even before I got affected, there is definitely a cold virus in the air, which is what happens when the weather changes, when the season changes. Some inactive viruses get activated. Also, I think what happens, and this is a trend I'm seeing, right? Like Diwali usually is the time when people indulge. They eat all sorts of fried food that's fried in refined vegetable oils, or even cold pressed vegetable oils. Vegetable oils trigger inflammation in the body. So you're eating all of this, you're having these big family get-togethers, you're meeting everyone, you're really losing it when it comes to tracking what's going into your body. And your body is in a state of inflammation, and here comes a virus and it just begins the cascade. So yes, you might see more people with a cold and a flu right now and then for the next couple of weeks as the virus does its rounds. It is not COVID for sure. It's just another respiratory virus that usually comes when seasons change. And if your internal health is good, you are going to recover from it. I recover in a day. Even if you don't recover in a day, right? 2 days at the most, 3 days at the most. It shouldn't take anyone more than that. Fix your health, guys, because if you don't do this now, if you don't fix your health, if you allow this narrative of COVID-19 to become bigger and bigger than it is, if you do that, then it gives the people in authority all the rights to come in and take away our freedoms by pushing in lockdown after lockdown just because humanity is going through a cyclical flu. It's seasonal. It happens. It's happened for years before this. Every year, every winter, people do get sick because of the flu. Every year, every winter, people get better from the flu. Those that who have compromised internal health, those that who have compromised immune systems, the old and the elderly, have always been affected adversely, even with the flu. That's why we have diseases with labels such as pneumonia. These existed before COVID. They did. Okay, so take care of your internal health. Prevent the next series of lockdowns from coming because, I don't know what the lockdowns did, because if the lockdowns were effective, and the lockdowns were supposed to be there for 2 weeks at the beginning, just to increase, whatever they were going to do, like in terms of hospital beds and all of that. If the lockdowns were really effective, if masks were effective, if social distancing was solving the problem, we wouldn't have seen the cases go up, right? Like COVID would be over by now. What they call is COVID. That's not happened, which shows us that lockdowns really aren't the answer. The answer is what happened with me. I recovered in a day. The answer is fixing your internal health. Do this to prevent from what we know of civilization as we know it from collapsing, okay? Because the next lockdown, I don't know how much the economy can take any more of it. It's so many businesses have already lost everything in the last 8 months. So many people have become bankrupt. So many people have experienced food insecurity for the first time in their lives because they did not have a job. They did not have an income to buy food. So many people have experienced that, and still we are here. I am talking to you. If another series of lockdowns come, for whatever reason, right? Like if they use the increasing number of cases as the narrative and they bring another lockdown, it's very hard for us all to get through that without further damages happening to humanity as a whole. So, if you think it's another human being's responsibility to wear a mask so that you don't get a cold, I think it is every human being's responsibility to fix their internal health so that we don't have the shit narrative going around us anymore. Fix your health, guys. How irresponsible can you be that just because you don't know what's happening inside your body, just because you don't know if you stand the chance of fighting off a virus, which is just another respiratory thing that's coming and going, you're putting all of planet Earth at stake. How irresponsible is that? And the thing is, I spent this much time learning what it takes to stay healthy. I know not everyone has the expertise or the skills or the bandwidth to learn this knowledge. So there are people like me who are offering this knowledge so that you can come and learn. Why wouldn't you take that opportunity? I mean, you'll spend on a Rolex, you'll spend on the latest iPhone. Now the PS5 is coming, so everybody's like drooling over PS5. For fucking one fraction of that cost, I'm going to teach you how to not be afraid of COVID-19, and you don't want to do that. So this wasn't meant to be a rant. This was meant to be a sharing of my experience of what it really means to recover quickly from viruses. That happened. It's a real thing. It happens. It sounds like magic, but it's just science. Science is a thing, unless used by authority to push the wrong agenda. Evidence-based science is a real thing. Understanding how your body functions is a real thing. Using blood tests to figure out what your status is internally is a real thing, and that can be used to solve so many issues. So stop being irresponsible and lazy about your own health. Drinking alcohol, eating chips, eating Maggie, and trying to deal with your lockdowns, stress that way is not really my recommendation. Maybe you can indulge once in a while, but only if you, I mean, like the next time somebody asks me to wear a mask, I'm going to take them to the lab and make them do their blood test. I think that's what I'm going to do. But that's just what I wanted to say. If you need help figuring out what is the internal status right now, we are here to help. Also, I have been studying, we've been studying actually at Thrive, we've been researching what really happens to people who go through COVID, go through the entire hospitalization and then emerge out of that. And what we're seeing is, we're calling these as COVID long haulers. Basically, people who have gone through the infection are experiencing other symptoms, you know, that's making recovery really slow. So they're experiencing like severe drops in energy, lots of exhaustion, lots of fatigue, mental health issues. There's give me a minute, someone's calling. All right, their mental health issues. They're experiencing a lot of anxiety, and you know, the need to sleep extra and just a lack of motivation. So we are seeing these symptoms are happening in a lot of people who've come out of COVID, and there's a reason for that. Okay, there are any virus is pretty taxing on your body. What's happening with COVID is the fear along with the virus is making it worse. So the long haulers, so or who we call people who've gone through it and still have not recovered fully. These people end up with major deficiencies. They still have insulin resistance, so that inflammation is still running amok in their body. So we can help them if you or your loved ones, if family members who've gone through it and are experiencing these symptoms. Please send them over. I'd be super happy to help them recover much faster and get their vitality back. But yeah, that's a thing too. Like, you can regain your lost strength and vitality no matter what you experienced in the past. So do this for yourselves, do this for people you care about, and stop being so scared about a virus that will not harm you if you're healthy internally. Okay, I just want to put this out there as many times. I know I said this 10 times already. I'm going to say it 11th time. If your internal health is okay, if your metabolic health is okay, the virus doesn't have anything on you. All right. So bye bye. I will start coming on more live. I was in hibernation myself. I think it's the winter, but let's talk more about that now. All right. Okay, let's make your coffee.
Sign.
Ha, sign and coffee.
Stamp.
You're right. No, I think it's there in one of the stores.
I
swear, kind of thing. You know, we signature on these Aadhaar card thingy, no?
इस पे आधार कार्ड है
पुराना वाला. So you look those dots and we oh damn. So the broadcast didn't end here. So it got all my signature in everything also, and I'm still live. Okay guys, this is what happens in Thrive office. After I finish broadcast, I sign important papers that give people their mobile internet connections. Yeah, why is it ending though?